Hello, good morning, children. How do you do? Hope all of you are keeping well. Yes, today let us learn a story, a very funny, witty story. The open window. The open window, written by Hector Hug Munro. He is known as, his pen name is Saki. Whenever he writes a story, he uses the name Saki. And then he is very clever. He is a very good writer, especially in the short stories. He is a British writer, and his stories are very interesting. They are make us fun. It will make us laugh, and at the same time they are very mischievous. Here in this story, he is speaking about a man known as Frampton Nutton. Frampton Nutton. He is a man who is a little nervous, and he had his treatment, and after the treatment, his sister suggested that since they are staying in the urban area, in the city area, it's very distracting. So let him go to village area and let him have little rest, so that his nervous mind will be getting rest and he will be cured soon. So this sister of his was staying 4 years ago in a village, and that same village he could go, and she will give introductory letters to the people there whom she knew, and so that this man get into contact with them and stay with them and enjoy his life there and get rid of his sickness. So this man comes to the house of Mrs. Sappleton. Mrs. Sappleton was a friend of his sister, and an introductory letter was given to her about him. But as he reached the house, Mr. Sappleton's niece, Vera, was the only person there. So she opened the door and she wanted to entertain him. She asked him to be seated, and she said that her aunt will be soon here, so you please wait. Meanwhile, I will entertain you. So after a little silence post time, they started to talk. First, Vera asked him. Actually, Vera is a girl who she is also very witty. She takes the opportunity, circumstances, and she makes her own stories to entertain the person. But sometimes that entertaining story may give more trouble to the person. She may be enjoying it, but it gives trouble to the person who is listening to that. Especially remember, this Nuttall is a man who is of nervous tension. Now, she said, she asked first, do you have any idea about these people in this village? He says, no, he is completely new. And again he says that he has no idea about Mrs. Sappleton also. So Vera understood that she can knit up any story so that he will believe it. So what did she do? She said that she is very sorry for her aunt who lost her husband and 2 younger brothers in a 3 years back, and today is its means 3 years completed. Now she says that they had gone for a hunting to hunt the birds, and then they have gone with a dog, but they entered into a marshy land and there they drowned. Since 3 years they are not to be seen. And she says that, do you mind of opening and keeping that French window, because it is October time. You see, for us in India, October is a time when we open the windows, we get nice fresh air, nice climate. But in British England and all, if you open the window in the month of October, it's very cool. That means you feel very much cold. So usually people do not open, but this window is open. She says that, and Auntie opens the window since the day the husband and her brothers were missing. She is expecting that they will be coming through that window on any day. So with that expectation, hearing this, Nuttall got so much, he felt very sad about the situation of the aunt. Meanwhile, while they were talking, Mrs. Sappleton entered, and she was a very, very cheerful woman. She was looking very talkative and very cheerful. So Mr. Nuttall could not understand how this woman is like this, because Vera was telling that she's sad, she's expecting for her husband and brothers. Now, anyway, as soon as she came, she asked sorry for keeping him late, and she expected that her niece might have entertained him well, and then she said that she has opened the window because her husband and brothers are gone for hunting and they will be coming through this window. And listening this, Mr. Nuttall understood that he was feeling that this woman has not yet come out of that dangerous day. Still she is keeping it in her mind. So she is expecting them now also to come through this window. The reason she says that why the window is open is that she does not want these men to come from the main door, because they will be full of dirt. They are coming from hunting. So if they come through that way, the carpet and everything, they will make dirty. So she has opened this window for them to come inside, so that directly they enter into the room. So while she was talking, she said she was, but even though she was talking, she was all the time looking through the window. So this Mr. Nuttall was really feeling very awkward. He is a man who is having little nervous tension. He came here actually to get cured of that. And then this kind of ghostly things she is speaking. She thought that she is speaking about ghosts. So he was feeling little upset. But meanwhile, Mrs. Sappleton said that, yeah, they are coming. And Mrs. Sappleton was saying earlier that her husband has an overcoat, a white one on the shoulders, and other two brothers are there. And one of the brothers used to tease her all the time, saying that, Betty, why do you bound? Why do you bound? So these things were in his mind. So as soon as Mrs. Sappleton said that they are coming, Mr. Nuttall also looked out, and he found that really 3 men are coming. One man, as she said, is having a white coat over him, and a dog is also by the side of them with the 2 young brothers of this one. So Nuttall thought that they are really the ghosts. And he looked at Vera, and Vera was pretending that she is also wondering what is this. She is just pretending. So Nuttall got frightened, and immediately what did he do? He took his cap and the walking stick, and he ran out without saying anything, because he was so much frightened. And while he was coming to the roadside, he was about to dash against a cyclist. Anyway, by chance, the cyclist made him to escape himself, and he ran away. And as soon as Mr. Sappleton entered in, he found that this fellow was running. So he asked, why is it that man is running away? Then Mrs. Sappleton said that, I cannot understand why it is. He has no manners, that without even saying a thank you or a bye-bye, he ran away as if he has seen a ghost. Again, Vera is making another story here. She says that it's not because of the ghost fear, it is because of the fear of the dog, because a dog is coming with them. The reason is that once a time, Mr. Nuttall was chased by stray dogs to a cemetery, and in the pit one of the pits of the cemetery, this Nuttall entered in, and the dogs were standing on the top and they were barking and foaming at him. So he got frightened. He's frightened of the dogs. He is very frightened of the dogs. This is the answer she gives. So she has made it 2 stories here. Now, children, you see, this girl, Vera, is very cunning, and she's very smart to cook stories. And you see, Hector Hartmundo is saying a story, writing a story, and inside the story there are 2 more stories. So now let us come to the story. Now children, before coming to the lesson, let me teach you the new words. You please open your lesson, page number 95. There you find footnotes of new words meanings. I'll give you the pronunciation and all. First one is flatter. Flatter means praise someone to make them feel more important. So the quality may be in them or may not be. You simply, to please them, you flatter, you praise them. Next one is disparaging. Disparaging means saying something to make someone feel less important or respected. So when you speak something not that much good about somebody else, so you are not keeping him as the most important person, less important. In that way you speak means it is known as disparaging. Next one, nerve cure means a process by which a person who is always very afraid, worried or anxious becomes better. Nerve cure means it is a treatment to cure your nerve so that you won't feel that much of anxiousness and you don't feel that much of fear. You will get rid of it by this nerve cure. Moping. Moping means being unhappy and acting in a way that is not positive. Very unhappy and not in a positive way. The way of thinking is also not positive and acting is also not positive. In a tone of distinct regret. Regret means feeling sorry. In a tone, that sound itself is a sorrowful sound. So, in a voice that showed that he felt he had made a mistake and was sad about it. So, he felt that coming to that village is it doesn't look nice, it was very bad. Practically means almost. Moor, meaning of moor is an open area of highland covered with rough grass. It's found especially in Britain. It is an open area of highland, heighted land with the rough grass. Snip, a bird with a long straight beak that lives near rivers. It is a kind of snip. It is a kind of bird. Usually people go for hunting. Next one is bog, soft wet ground. Very soft and wet ground. So if you keep your legs there, feet there, you will get drowned there. Next one is marshes, places near a lake, a river or the sea that often flood and are always wet. This is also almost something like the bog. Next one is hedge, page number 98. Hedge means a line of bushes or small trees planted very close together, especially along the edge of a garden, field or road. So through the boundaries, sometimes people keep these small bushy plants together in a line so that instead of a wall, a boundary may be made up there. Or around the garden, to give a boundary for the garden, they keep this kind of small plants and you can crop them and keep them well. Then imminent. What is that? Imminent. Imminent means something that is just about to happen. It is just going to happen. Short notice, a short time for preparation. Speciality means a skill in which one is an expert. He is an expert. He is a specialist in maths. Means he is very good in maths. Now some of the words which are new, but the meanings are not given to you. in your textbook. I have written on the board. Have a look. Quaint. Quaint. Q-U-A-I-N-T. Quaint means strange and fanciful. Strange and fanciful. Tragedy. Tragedy means a sad event. A play with a sad ending. A drama is a tragedy. A film is a tragedy means the end of the film or the drama is in sadness. So opposite of tragedy is comedy, ending in hope or happiness. Annoy, to make angry or disturb. Briskly, briskly means very actively. Briskly means very actively. Mess, make a mess, don't make this room a mess. That means disorder or confusion. Disorder or confusion. A rattle means here the meaning is to chatter fluently. That means to speak very fluently. You are a talkative. Then alert. Alert means watchful. Alert means watchful. He is very alert to the circumstances. Grin, to smile with the teeth exposed. You can see the dogs and all when they make, they instead of barking, they do not like, they are angry means they grin. But they are angry, the dogs are angry, but for people it is grinning. Means to smile with their teeth, with the teeth exposed. Grab means to snatch, to catch very forcefully, quickly go and catch it. That is. Now let us take the lesson. Let us go through the lesson. My aunt will be down in a minute, Mr. Nuttall said a very confident young lady of 15. So this girl is 15 years old. This is the starting point of the story. That is the setting of the story. The setting of the story is the time and the background of the story. So what is it? Background is that only a 15-year-old girl is there in the house and Mr. Nuttall comes in. As Franklin Nuttall followed the young lady into a quaint drawing room, quaint means very strange and fanciful drawing room. So when this man came, this girl of 15 years took him to the drawing room. He tried to say the correct something which should flatter the niece without disparaging the aunt who was yet to come. The aunt has not yet come. So what this man wanted to do? He wanted to say something which will flatter the girl, but at the same time will not disparage the aunt. That means giving importance to both. Privately, he doubted more than ever whether these visits to total strangers would do much to help the nerve cure which he was supposed to be undergoing. He came to this village to undergo a nerve cure, but now he is doubting whether this visit to this village where all the people are very strange, whether it will help him to cure his nerve. So he was doubting whether it will be useful for him because all the people are very strange to him. I know how it will be, his sister had said when he was preparing to move to this little village. When he was getting ready to come to this village, his sister came to him and said, I know how it will be, how your life in the village will be. You will bury yourself down there and not speak to a living soul. You will bury yourself down means without talking to anybody. To living soul means any of the persons. You won't be talking to any of the persons. And your nerves will be worse than ever from moping. So your nerves will be, moping means being unhappy. Because you are a person who do not talk much. What will happen? Your nerves will be getting more. So what about, she wanted to do something. I shall give you letters of introduction to all the people I know there. Some of them, as far as I can remember, were quite nice. Now remember that this woman was staying in this same village few years back and she knew some of them. So she says that I will give letters of introduction to the people there so that they will speak to you and they will entertain you properly, and you will not feel that much strangeness in front of them. And most of these people are very nice people. So the reason of her giving the letter is that to make his life very easy and happy in the village, because the people will know that this man is the brother of so and so woman who lived in this village earlier. Frampton wondered whether Mrs. Stapleton, the lady for whom he was waiting with one of the letters of introduction, came into the nice division. Nice division means people who are nice. His sister said that most of them are very nice, quite nice people. So he is wondering whether this lady in whose house he has come now, that is Mrs. Stapleton, is belonging to this nice people's side. Whether she is a nice woman or not, he was wondering. Do you know many of the people around here? Asked the niece. Now see, the niece is going to do something. She wanted to know whether Mr. Nuttall knows many of the people in this area. When she judged that they had had sufficient silent communication, that means for a long time both of them were not talking. The man was seated and this girl was there, but both of them did not talk. So Nuttall was thinking in his mind about the journey and all. So she, after a long silence of communication, what she did, she asked him, do you know many of the people around here? Hardly a soul, said Frampton Nuttall. Hardly a soul means he does not know anybody. My sister was staying here for 4 years ago. 4 years ago, his sister was staying here and she gave me letters of introduction to some of the people here. He made the last statement in a tone of distinct regret. He was not feeling so much good about it. So in a regretful way, he was saying that and she has given introductory letters to him in his hand to give to the people whomever she knows. Then you know practically nothing about my aunt, continued the confident young lady. The young lady said that means you do not know anything about the people here. About my aunt especially. Practically means almost nothing, you know. Only her name and address, admitted the caller. Who is the caller? Mr. Nuttall. He said that I know only her name and address. He was wondering whether Mrs. Stapleton was married or widowed. Now Mr. Nuttall started to wonder whether this woman, Mrs. Stapleton, is a married person or a widow. Something about the room seemed to suggest that a man usually occupied it. But when he looked into the room, he understood that some men were staying there. That means maybe the dress of a man or something will be there. He might have found it. Her great tragedy happened just 3 years ago. Now, this much only he spoke, and the girl is very confident that she can speak anything about this village and her auntie to this man because he does not know anything. So she started her story. Her great tragedy, the very sad event which happened to her just 3 years ago, that would be after your sister's time. That means after your sister went away from this village, that is she was staying here 4 years back. Now this tragedy happened 3 years back. So what happened? Frampton asked her tragedy. So he wanted to know. Somehow in this restful country spot, tragedies seemed out of place. In this country spot, in this place, tragedies are very rare. It is out of place. Usually villages are very calm and quiet, tragedies are very rare. So he is wondering, how is it that there is a tragedy? You may wonder why we keep that window wide open on an October afternoon. Now the girl says, you may be thinking why the window there is wide open in the October afternoon. Because October afternoon is a time when you feel very cold. And why these people are keeping this window open? Said the niece, indicating a large French window that opened into a lawn. What is a lawn? Grassy part of a garden made up with grass cropped well and nicely. So there is a French window and it is open. When you open it, you can see the lawn there. It is quite warm for the time of the year, said Franton. But has that window got anything to do with the tragedy? Then Mr. Franton asks, what is the meaning of opening that window like that? Has the window has anything to do with the tragedy that happened? Some connection with the tragedy that you open it and keep? Out through that window 3 years ago, my aunt's husband and her 2 young brothers went off for their day's shooting. She says that 3 years ago. Through this window only, Mr. Stapleton and 2 young brothers of Mrs. Stapleton had gone for their shooting, for hunting. They never came back. In crossing the moor to their favorite snip snoot shooting ground, all 3 drowned in a dangerous piece of bog. In a wet place, very wet place, clay and water is there, means very wet place, and if you step in, you will go down into it, you will get drowned. So she says that they crossed the moor. What is a moor? An open area of highland with the rough grass. So they crossed that moor and then they went for hunting. What is that? Hunt what? Snips. What are the snips? A bird with a long straight beak that lives near rivers. So they are going near to the river side. That area is also very wet. So anyway, they went for shooting the snip, the birds, and they drowned in a dangerous piece of bog. It had been that dreadful wet summer, and places that were safe in other years gave way suddenly. That means that dreadful wet summer. It was a wet summer time, and safe places also are sometimes dangerous because of the rain. Their bodies were never recovered. The bodies were never got back. So what happened to them? Nobody knows. That was the dreadful part of it. It was a very fearful part of the story. Here the child's voice lost its confident note. That means she spoke in a very sad way. This is all her pretension. She is fooling actually Mr. Nuttall. Poor aunt always thinks that they will come back someday and walk in at that window just as they used to do. Poor auntie is thinking that these 3 people with the dog, they will be coming back through this window on any day. So she is just thinking like that. That is why the window is kept open every evening till it is quite dark. Every evening the window is opened till it is very dark. It will be opened, waiting for the husband and her 2 brothers. Poor dear aunt. She has often told me how they went out. She used to, this girl also hadn't seen the incident, or that day she was not here. So auntie used to tell her how they went for hunting on that day. She explained that her husband with his white waterproof coat over his arm. Her husband was wearing the white waterproof coat, and Ronnie, her youngest brother, singing. She had two brothers. The youngest one is known as Ronnie, and he used to tease his sister all the time, saying what? Singing, Bertie, why do you bound? So see, this is the way he used to tease her. So on that day when they were going for hunting, this younger boy was singing, as he always did to tease her, because she had it annoyed her. When he sings it, she used to get angry or disturbed. So he likes to see that, so he used to sing. Do you know, sometimes on still quiet evenings like this, I almost get a creepy feeling that they will all walk in through that window. And she says that, Vera says that sometimes in quiet evenings, she also having a feeling that these people will be walking and coming through the window. She stopped talking with a little shiver. Then she stopped talking with a shiver. She is pretending that she is afraid. So it was a relief to Franton when the aunt entered the room with a series of apologies for being late. Apologies means saying sorry. At that moment when Vera was finished this much of talking, aunt entered inside the room and asked sorry for making him waiting for a long time. She says, I hope Vera has been amusing you. Amusing means entertaining you. She said, she has been very interesting, said Franton. Franton said that she has been very interesting. She was speaking to me very interestingly. I hope you don't mind the open window, said Mrs. Stapleton briskly. Briskly means very actively, very happily, very interestingly. She said, I don't mind. I hope that you don't mind keeping open this window. Why are all of them are saying that you don't mind? No? Because it is the time people usually don't open the window because it is very cold. But only this window is open like this. So they are saying you don't mind it. So now she says, my husband and brothers will be home directly from shooting. And they always come in this way. Now she says that my husband and brothers are gone for shooting and they will be coming through this window. They have been out for snip in the marshes today. That means to hunt the snip birds in the marshes. So they will make a fine mess over my poor carpets. That means if I open my main door, they will come through that main door and the carpets are kept there. They will be making it all dirty because they are coming from the marshy area. They will be full of dirt, mud and all. That's the reason why she has opened the window. Mess means disorder or confusion. So she rattled on cheerfully about the shooting and the scarcity of birds. She rattled means she started to chatter, to speak. Very talkative she is. Very cheerfully. Now just imagine children. So Vera has said that these people have died 3 years back. This woman says that they will come. She is expecting them today. So what you can understand, what is the feeling of this man? The feeling is that he is already a person who is having little nervous breakdown, and again he is thinking that this lady is speaking about his husband, her husband and brothers. That means she is out of her mind. She is not normal. That's why she is speaking like that. So he was not feeling that much nice about it. Then to Franton, it was all purely horrible. To hear these words, it was very horrible for Franton. He made a desperate but not very successful effort to turn the talk to a less miserable topic. Now he does not want to listen to this talk. He is getting frightened. A man who is with a nervous breakdown or is in the process of curing, he will get soon frightened of things. Now the lady says that they will be coming. He is thinking that the ghost. He is thinking about the ghost. So he gets frightened. So he wanted to change the subject. So he tried to change the subject. He made it desperate. Desperate means without hope. There was no use. He tried, but it was not useful. Not very successful effort to turn the talk to a less miserable topic. Less miserable means less unhappy. This topic which the woman is talking is very horrible because she is speaking about the ghost coming. And this man wanted to lessen it, so he wanted to change the topic. But he saw that Mrs. Stapleton was giving him only a part of her attention. Though Mrs. Stapleton was speaking, her full attention is not in Stapleton. Part of her attention is only with Mrs. Stapleton, Mr. Stapleton, sorry, Mr. Mr. Nuttall. She is not attending to Mr. Nuttall. She is attending to the window. Why? She is expecting her husband and brothers. So all the time she is looking through the window. Her eyes were constantly straying past him to the open window and the lawn beyond. After the window there is the lawn, so her eyes are always that side. She is watching, she is looking at that side. Now the man, Mr. Nuttall, wanted to change the topic, so he says, the doctors agree in ordering me complete rest. He wanted to change. He thought that if he speaks about his sickness and all, she may be okay, she will be interested in. Thinking that she is speaking about his illness and the treatment. He says, the doctors agree in ordering me complete rest. All the doctors told me that I have to take complete rest. Whomever I have shown or whoever treated me, everybody says that I have to take rest. They have asked me to avoid any excitement. No excitement. Excitement means to rouse the feelings, not to bring sudden emotions and all. So I have to get rid of, to avoid any excitement or too much physical exercise. No excitements, no too much physical exercises should not be taken by him. So he is speaking about his illness and what the doctors spoke about him. No, said Mrs. Stapleton in a voice which only replaced a yawn at the last moment. She was just showing yawning means she is not interested in the talk of Mr. Nuttall. Then she suddenly brightened into alert attention. Suddenly she became very happy. She was not interested in the talk of Mr. Nuttall, but suddenly she became very happy and alert, but not to what Franton was saying. It is not because what Franton was saying, something else. What is it? Let us see. Here they are at last, she cried. Who are this they? A husband and two brothers. Here they are at last, she cried. Just in time for tea. It is just time for tea and they have come here in time for tea. And don't they look as if they were muddy up to the eyes? You look at them, they are muddy up to the eyes. That means from bottom to the top they are fully in mud. Franton shivered slightly. Shiver means a tremble. Why? Trembling because of fear. Because she is speaking in such a way as if she has seen them. So, and turned towards the knees. She turned to look at the knees. What is her expression? Because he saw that three people are coming. She showed that three people are coming and he looked and he saw that three people are coming. So he got frightened thinking that they are really ghosts. Because niece has already said that 3 years back they are dead and their bodies are not yet got. So he looked at the niece, but the child was staring out through the open window with horror in her eyes. Horror means a feeling of great fear. Horror means a feeling of great fear. Actually, the niece is pretending because she knew that she had cooked up a story for Mr. Nuttall. And these people are really alive. They just went for hunting today in the morning. What Mrs. Stapleton says is correct. But Vera made this Mr. Nuttall to misunderstand it. So Nuttall looked at Vera and she is also pretending very fearful, as if she is very frightened. Feeling a shock of nameless fear, Franton swung round in his seat and looked in the same direction. So Franton swung. So Franton turned round in his seat and looked in the place, looked at the place where these people are coming. What did he see there? In the deepening twilight, what is it? Twilight, faint light just before sunrise and moonset. before the moon comes up and before the sunrise, you will find a faint light that is known as a twilight. So you cannot see very clearly at that time because good light is not there. So in the deepening twilight, going to be night. So in the deepening twilight, three figures were walking across the lawn towards the window. So Nuttall saw that three figures are coming towards the window through the lawn. They all carried guns under their arms. All three of them are having guns. And one of them was additionally burdened with a white coat hung over his shoulders. Just like Mrs. Stapleton said, her husband was hanging a white coat over his shoulders. So one of them was having just like exactly how the explanation was given by Vera, which she heard from Auntie. A tired brown spaniel. Spaniel is it's a very special variety of dog, a hunting dog. A tired. So because after the hunting they are very tired. The dog is also tired. You know that when people go for hunting, they take the dog because the dog will run in front of them and it will try to chase the animal or bird or whatever it may be. So it is also tired. The tired brown spaniel kept close at their heels. That means the dog was walking very close to them. Noiselessly, they neared the house without making any noise. They came near to the house, and then a hoarse young voice. Hoarse means rough. Young voice means when men speak, their voice is rather rough. Boys' voices are very soft, but when they become men, their voice becomes rough. So she heard a hoarse young voice chanted out of the dusk and twilight, saying. So chanting means he was singing. What was he singing? I said, Betty, why do you pout? So remember, Vera was saying that when her auntie's youngest brother went out for hunting, he was singing, Betty, why do you pout? In the same way, now this brother, one of these men, is singing, saying that, Betty, why do you pout? Now this much is enough for Franton to get frightened. He's really thinking that these are the ghosts. And he's frightened of that. So what did he do? Franton grabbed wildly at his stick and hat and ran. Grabbed means very quickly he snatched. He had kept his walking stick and the hat sideways and he quickly took it and he ran with that. A cyclist coming along the road had to run into the hedge to avoid imminent collision. Collision means dash together. Imminent means that happens it is just happening. So when he was running out of the house, he came to the roadside. At that time, a cyclist was coming and they were about to collide. But anyway, the cyclist tried to avoid imminent collision. So they did not dash each other. Here we are, my dear, said the bearer of the white coat. Who is the bearer of the white coat? The husband of Mrs. Stapleton. So that is Mr. Stapleton. So he said, here we are, my dear, coming in through the window. Fairly muddy, but most of it's dry. He says that we are very muddy, but it is dried up. Who was that who dashed out as we came up? Then husband asked her, who was that person who ran away when we came inside? Then what was the reply she gave? A most extraordinary man. He's not an ordinary man. Most extraordinary man. A Mr. Nuttall, said Mrs. Stapleton. His name is Mr. Nuttall. he could only talk about his illness. You remember, Mr. Nuttall was trying to change the topic which Mrs. Stapleton was talking because he was getting frightened. He wanted to talk about his sickness and the medicine and all that. So she says that he only talks about his illness and went off without a word of goodbye or apology. Apology means asking excuse. No excuse, no apology or no goodbye. Without that, he ran away. When you arrived, one would think he had seen a ghost. People will think that he had seen some ghost. In such a way, he ran away from there. We know that really this Mr. Nuttall thought that they are ghosts. That's why he ran away. Now, I expect it was the spaniel, said the niece calmly. The niece is very good in cooking up stories, you know. Now here also she is cooking another story saying that I think that it is not big. It is because of the dog. Seeing the dog, he might have run away, not because he is frightened of the ghost. She says she brings a story now. He told me. He means who? Mr. Nuttall told me he had a horror of dogs. He is frightened of dogs. Why? Reason she says, he was once hunted into a cemetery. What is a cemetery? Cemetery is a place where dead people are buried by Christians and Muslims also. So, he was once hunted into a cemetery somewhere on the banks of the Ganges. Ganges means Ganga river. So, where it is a banks of the Ganges by a pack of stray dogs. Stray dogs are the dogs where they do not belong to anybody. They are simply walking in the streets. You can see them. And pack means it's a collective noun. Pack of dogs, a group of dogs. They were at the back of him and they were running and chasing him. And chasing, finally, where did this man come? He came to the cemetery. And he had to spend the night in a newly dug grave with the creatures grinning and foaming just above him. And what happened? He went into the newly dug grave. One of the newly dug grave was there. It is a pit where the dead body is kept and then covered with mud. So in that pit, it was a new pit. He entered inside thinking that no, the dogs will not come to him. So he was spending the whole time there. And where were the dogs? They were grinning and foaming just above him. Standing above the grave, these dogs were. So the dogs were grinning and foaming just above him, enough to make anyone lose their nerve. That means seeing these dogs above him, any person can feel frightened. Then what about this? Nuttall, Mr. Nuttall, because he's already a nervous person, plus such an incident happened to him. Then, fantastic stories at short notice was her speciality. The author, Hector Hart Munro, says that the hobby of this girl is to make fantastic stories within short time. That she was skilled in that. She was a very skillful girl to make stories then and there according to the circumstances. So this is the way the story has ended, and I hope that you enjoyed the story. It's very clever story, witty and at the same time mischievous. It is a story. Inside there are two more stories. So very fantastically, very cleverly he has kept the story. He has brought the story. So we have seen the setting, the background of the story. Then we have seen the events taking place one after the other. And finally the climax has come up when these three people along with the dog is coming. And Mr. Phantom is really frightened. He gets up and runs. That's the climax of the story. Actually, he came to get himself cured. But here he is not going to get cured, but it upsets him more. So children, that is the end of our story. Now tomorrow, that means you try to read the lesson, then learn the spellings, meanings, and for the tomorrow I'll take you the exercises. But for the exercises, before teaching you exercises, I have to take the grammar that is on the reported speech, because the exercises are mainly on a reported speech. So tomorrow I will be taking along with this grammar also. Bye.